All rise. Councilman Spencer is going to do prayer, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman.
God, the Son, and Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. And I stand in a posture with open hands, ready to receive the blessings you have given us to us freely. We acknowledge that we are imperfect, but we serve a perfect God. I'm grateful to be forever sealed in your spirit. I serve a God that only creates good things, but has the power and authority to use evil for his own purpose and will. I pray for Israel. Father God, you are the rock and redeemer of Israel, and I pray for peace and understanding. I pray for their enemies that only wish and desire for her destruction. I pray for that their hearts and minds be changed, not by man, but by your power and your authority and your will. I pray for healing for here, at home, and abroad. I pray for your continued favor for us as mankind. I serve a God that is king and royalty, but is a servant of the people. God, you are the creator, just and judge. You are peace, love, and healer. You are the way, the truth, and the life. And you are the beginning and the end. You are the great I am. I pray for our leaders nationally, within the state of Missouri, and locally. I ask that you shield and protect our first responders and all that serve this city. I pray that you give us wisdom in our decision-making in order to best serve our community. Thank you for loving us and guiding us. I ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you for everyone who is with us. We'll go ahead and call order and do a roll call.
Allers.
Present.
Puzzleton.
Here.
Joe. Here. Lester.
Here.
Michael.
Present.
Mealy.
Present.
Schwartz.
Here.
Spencer.
Here.
Spicer.
Present.
Young. Present. We have a quorum.
Right. Item 3 is adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt.
As moved by the previous agenda, my request for the resolutions be moved.
Can I also just say on the record that I adopt the agenda acknowledging that there is with the 200,000.
For the wastewater project.
All right, we've got an adoption, motion to adopt. I'm going to take those as 2 friendly amendments to move item 14, A, B, and C up under item 7 and to make the correction.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended, or I'm sorry, the agenda as amended.
Well, we've already got the motion on the floor. We're going to go ahead and take it as friendly amendments and unless someone. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Miscellaneous agenda items, item 4, we do not have any that I'm aware of. Opportunities for public comment. I do believe we have one individual.
James Clark.
Mr. Clark, how are you doing, sir?
Good.
Just identify yourself again for folks at home.
Be happy to. James Clark, resident of the 3rd District, 411 Brookwood Court. Would like to just make a few comments today about the Parks Commission, if you wouldn't mind. So I started coming to council meetings last fall, and one of the meetings I went to, the Parks Commission came up as an agenda item. It's come up a couple times since then, and I just want to share some of my concerns about that issue with the council today and with the mayor. My wife and I have lived here for almost 30 years. We obviously love our parks, as a lot of you do. We certainly think there should be consensus about the parks. It's certainly a resource that I think is, one of our, shining stars, in my opinion, for the city. I was concerned about the meeting that happened a couple of meetings ago. There's a lack of consensus about how to go forward with appointees. My concern is that may reflect a larger concern about how the park should be managed or how the park should be handled. My sense is, just as a citizen, that I don't see any issues right now with how the parks are being managed or handled. I know there was a radio show just this past weekend with, I think, someone from the Chamber of Commerce and the current director of parks, and they were talking about a lot of the benefits that the parks have brought into our community. I mean, everything from ball tournaments, concerts. I think the new venue at Riverside was mentioned as again a positive. So again, I think in that context, I just hope that the council and the mayor take that all into consideration and don't make decisions that would disrupt or upend the positive things that are happening with our parks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's all we had listed. We will go to public hearings. Pending Bill 2024-011.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri approving a preliminary PUD plan for an office and auditorium building on property addressed as 3450 West Edgewood Drive.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this bill tonight is actually for a preliminary PUD plan approval for the development of the site with an office building that would include an auditorium. The property is located at 3450 West Edgewood Drive. This is a public hearing as well, and I'll go through a short presentation to give a little bit of overview of the PUD. So just to kind of give a little background, the site is zone PUD, which is a planned unit development. That is a specific zoning designation that requires a property owner to have a public hearing in front of planning and zoning, and then come before the city council for final approval, generally of what the site will look like. So a site plan with some underlying zoning restrictions or conditions. As you can see, the faint pink color there is the PUD zoning. So this site there at the northeast corner of Harper's Ferry and Edgewood is zone PUD. It's kind of an aerial of the shot or the site. As you can see, it is an undeveloped piece of property with frontage on Edgewood. The actual development of the site, as I had mentioned, includes the construction of a 3-story office building, approximately 53,000 square feet. Sometimes PUDs do come associated with, along with associated basically variances or basically kind of waivers from certain zoning requirements. In this case, this building is being constructed per the underlying zoning ordinance that has ample parking and landscaping associated with the property, as well as it will include sidewalk construction along both of its street frontages to connect to the existing street network, especially along Edgewood. We have a kind of a aerial rendering of the site. As you can see, kind of a storefront really appearance on the bottom with lots of glass. I think masonry also on the second and third floor. So quite an aesthetically attractive building. I think it will be a good location there at that corner. And generally, with the office and auditorium, will be a significant improvement along the stretch. Planning and zoning did review this case and did recommend approval. I do believe there is a representative for the applicant within the audience tonight if there are any additional questions. But with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Smith at this point? All right, we will go ahead then and open the public hearing on 2024-011. Anybody wishing to speak on our behalf, you just identify yourself. Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Hello, I'm Brian McMillan with Central Missouri Professional Services, 2500 East McCarty Street. It's kind of an exciting project as this area of Edgewood hasn't completely built out yet, and it's kind of starting to. JCMG building their surgery center across the street, and a couple years ago I did the site plan for the Veterans Medical building there. So it's kind of neat that this area is finally starting to develop. So I think this is really going to be a good project for this area. It's going to look really nice. The architect has really tried to keep some of the natural features behind it and different things. So and we tried to include some things like permeable paving and some landscaping features to help clean stormwater and whatnot. So other than that, I think Mr. Smith gave a great overview of the project. There's really not a whole lot I can add unless you have any questions. I'd have to try to answer them.
Councilman Allard?
I just have a general question. Was this the original building that was going to be built inside the prison walls at one time? Is this the same project?
I think it was. It was looked at there, and it was also looked at the old St. Mary's site. And then due to some issues, it's ended up here, so.
So that would have been the first building inside the prison for you to.
Yeah, possibly. I wasn't involved with it at that time, so I'm not sure.
Councilman Mealy?
I just wanted to say thank you for considering permeable paving.
Oh, yeah.
We all know what stormwater is. We all know how stormwater occurs. And that's one step in the right direction. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I actually used it at Lincoln University Dickinson Research Center and loved it. Everybody loves it there. And I've been trying to use it at other sites, but it's hard to get people to buy into it because it's not normal.
It's pricey.
Yeah.
Councilman Lester?
I'd just say this siding project, and would you say a little bit about the organizations and the functions of the building, activities that anticipated?
I don't know if there's anybody from the owner here. This is actually in my project directly, but I know it's Missouri Primary Care Association, and I think they oversee kind of home care people, organizations, and I think they're going to have a couple of tenants in the building also. I'm not sure who they are, but the building's kind of oversized for just their needs, and then the auditorium I know in the building will be for all those organization uses, and when they bring people in for meetings and whatnot, they'll be able to have a place to meet on site. And I think they may have it open for public use too, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure.
I have one question for you. First of all, again, I want to say thank you as well. But just for the record, can you give us a time frame of when you expect to get started and how long it take for the end process?
I believe that this is a preliminary PUD plan, so they're going to start finalizing the plans here. And I want to say I heard August, maybe it might be going out for bid. So, it's probably going to start construction in the last quarter of this year. And I would anticipate this is probably a 1.5-year construction project, just by looking at it. So, is that 25? Probably in 26 is when it would probably be done.
Councilman Schwartz, you have a little information on this building, I believe.
Yeah, just to answer Councilman Lester's questions, I'm actually going to have an office on the second floor of this building. So 2 organizations building it, Missouri Primary Care Association, which is basically your federally qualified health centers throughout the state. They're the association for all the FQHCs throughout the state. Obviously, take mostly indigent, low income, uninsured, underinsured, Medicaid clientele, have a big focus on dental, primary care. Our organization, which is Missouri Behavioral Health Council, focuses on severe mental illness and substance use disorder. So we will be on the second floor, primary care on the third. The auditorium will be used. We have multiple trainings daily that we do now kind of throughout the city, anywhere from 5 to 200 people doing these trainings, anywhere dealing with crisis intervention training for officers, basic preventative health care, preventative mental health care. So it's going to be kind of taking 2 organizations that are fundamentally doing the same things and putting them in one building, one house. Funding came from a federal grant that Senator Blunt was through. We received 2 years ago. So that's where the funding's coming from, and it's going to be a very good thing for our associations and the community in general.
Councilman Hazelton.
Councilman Schwartz, you said that these organizations that are all going to be unified under one roof are in separate locations. Where are they all now?
So we actually sold our building on Metro Drive. We're leasing a building off of East McCarty across from Old Fire Station number 2, if anybody's familiar with that. I think we used to be Go Partners.
Yeah,
or
it's all new partners.
we're taking care of Ward 1 right now.
Water Patrol.
Next to the old Water Patrol building. That's where we're housed right now. Missouri Primary Care Association is off Edgewood currently, more towards 179, in a smaller building. maybe Emerald Ridge or one of those streets over there. So that's where the two will be coming from.
So that's a really good development then. This frees up more commercial real estate in the city. And also it's what I call an anchor development. This is going to likely inspire further development of this type along Edgewood. I think it would be a very good step in the future direction. I mean, I see Edgewood filling up because of this. It's wonderful, wonderful opportunity to get that filled out there.
We really wanted to be at MSP, close to the Capitol. I have various things to say about the process there, but it fell through, to say the least, and we've moved on. We had discussions, as he mentioned, about the old St. Mary's property. We just didn't know if it was quite big enough, and so we, I think the chamber, the Jeff City Chamber owned this land, we bought it from them, and that's where I'll be. I'll retire from this gig sooner rather than later.
Editorial comment. Well, sir, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Yes, sir. You like to speak on this project?
Hi, my name.
Identify yourself.
My name is Lucas Bowling. I'm a resident of 918 Manassas Place, which is in West Point Estates, which is just at the other end of Harper's Ferry. And I looked at the plans. I see it's a sizable auditorium, and my question is, I didn't see the capacity of that auditorium, and I'm just curious as to whether Harper's Ferry will bear a burden of any parking that's not accommodated by the 186 spaces.
I don't know the size of it. Square.
I don't know.
I would say that parking requirement is a minimum that the city sets, and then the user of the property usually evaluates how much parking they're going to need, and I think they have more than that minimum requirement. So based on the information we have right now, that should accommodate that. There could be, occasional events and something along those lines that might cause it to exceed that, but generally, I don't think there would be concern that it would spill over dramatically.
Thank you. Do you know what the capacity of that auditorium is?
I don't have that information in front of me, but we could get that information.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So, yeah, if you could just follow up with Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no one else interested in speaking on behalf, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Council now has 2024-011 in front of you. Is there any other comments or questions? If none, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Allers?
Aye.
Osmelson?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Lester?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Neely?
Aye.
Schwartz?
You abstain?
Spencer?
Aye.
Spicer?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Bill passes.
All right. Thanks for being with us. All right, that takes us to item 6B, which is Bill 2024-012.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, approving a PUD plan amendment for property located at 2209 Stonehill Road.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, similar to the previous case, this is a PUD plan. In this case, though, it is actually an amendment to an existing plan. This would be for the expansion of the Special Learning Center. They're intending to build a clinic on the site and also to remodel the existing building directly south of this site. This property, though, for the PUD is specific to 2209 Stonehill Road. This is a public hearing this evening. If I can get it to advance, we'll take a look at the. Well, in general, if we can advance to slide one, you can see the surrounding zoning here again. PUD, Planned Unit Development, does require a site plan. The building, as you can see here to the south, Special Learning Center also acquired, and they're remodeling that building to accommodate a lot of their services and relocating to that building. The site highlighted here will be the construction of actually a new 7,500 square foot clinic that will be associated with this, although it is on a different site. The existing use of that site, if we can advance one more slide, the aerial of this location. You can see the current site's improving the parking lot that was included on the original PUD. So to accommodate their expansion, they're looking to amend that site. As you can see, there's actually a connection to those two properties as well. There's actually a small bridge over the creek there, allows connectivity. I think we have, we'll go ahead and advance to the next slide. We can see the PUD plan for that site. Again, 7,500 square foot building, associated off-street parking and sidewalk connection. You can see along Stonehill Road with Lorenzo Green Drive on the east side of this property. All the minimum requirements are being met on site for parking, landscaping, sight lighting, etc. No variances or waivers are being requested. We can extend or go one more slide. Give you generally an architectural rendering of that building as well. Plan and Zoning did review the PUD plan and did recommend approval. I do believe there may be a representative for that site in that project here tonight. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Seeing none right now, the public hearing is open. Is there anyone who would like to speak on behalf or in regards to this project? Welcome. You just identify yourself. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Johnson. I reside at 117 Kingsbury Court in Jefferson City. I'm the executive director of the Special Learning Center. We're very excited about this new property. We have fundraised and raised $13.5 million to make this property a reality. The main facility at 905 Weathered Rock Road will house our special education classrooms, our specialized childcare programs, family support program, our offices, but it's not enough room for everything. So the property you're looking at on Stonehill is what an annex building, basically, for our main facility. It will house a small gymnasium as well as our clinic that's providing occupational, physical, and speech therapy, pediatric therapy for children with special needs, not only in Jefferson City, but our entire mid-Missouri area. We're currently on Fairgrounds Road, landlocked in a building that we have outgrown. The timeline on this project, Prost Builders was recently selected as our contractors, and they're going to get started next month. And we hope to at least have the main facility remodeled and ready when school starts fall of 25. Our hope is that we'll have this building constructed and ready to go in August of 25 as well. Any questions?
Councilman Spencer.
What is going to happen with your existing facility that you have?
Excellent question. So there is a ground lease between the Special Learning Center and the Jefferson City School District. We own our building, they own the land. We have 17 years left on that lease. So we are in conversations with the school district about what they'd like to do with that, or whether we continue to utilize that building for the next 17 years for one of our programs. But that's all kind of up in the air right now, and we hope to have a decision made soon.
I didn't mean to expose if there was anything.
Oh, no, not at all.
Just didn't know if there was already discussions in that area. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else to speak on this project? Welcome. If you just reintroduce yourself for folks at home.
Sure. Brian McMillan with Central Missouri Professional Services, 2500 East McCarty Street. I actually did work on this project, so I may know a little bit more about it, but there's really not a whole lot to say. You know, they bought the big old Verizon building down at the bottom of the hill, and they're adding this building, and this building is really the only part of the PUD plan that has to be approved because the other building has already been approved and it meets the usage of that PUD requirements. So this little bit difficult side, we're kind of cutting into the existing parking lot, building some walls and different things. So I think we're going to make it work and be a good facility for them. So yeah, to answer any questions if there's anything regarding the site plan.
Great, thanks. All right, seeing no others, we'll go ahead and close the hearing. You do have before you Bill 2024-012. Are there any other comments from council? All right, we'll roll call vote.
Huddleston?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Lester?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Neely? Schwartz?
Aye.
Spencer?
Aye.
Spicer?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Allers?
Aye.
Bill passes.
All right, thanks. It takes us to item 7A, appointments by the mayor. Just let Councilman Allers get the motion on the floor, and then I'll recognize you, Councilman Mealy.
Make a motion that we accept the slate as printed out at the Library Board of Ann Rodman, and for the Parks Commission, Brent Hempfield, before the City Council.
I second that.
Councilman Mealy.
As discussed in pre-meeting, I will ask that we separate the library board appointment and the Parks Commission appointment, to have a little bit of a separate conversation on the Parks Commission appointment.
The request to separate.
Is that required to? Requires 2 members. I'll second that.
All right, we have 2 motions, 2 items in front of us, 2 appointments. I don't know if Ms. Rotman is here, Mr. Hemphill is here, so I appreciate them coming in. First one you have in front of you is Ms. Rotman, Library Board. Any other comments? We're going to do a roll call vote.
Ready? Joe?
Aye.
Lester?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Neely?
Aye.
Schwartz?
Aye.
Spencer?
Aye.
Spicer?
Aye.
Young?
Aye.
Allers?
Aye.
Hazelton?
Aye.
The appointment is approved.
All right, second is Mr. Hemphill for Parks and Recs Commission. That is the item that's before you right now. Comments? Councilman Mealy.
Thank you, Mayor. I went to look today to see if I could find Mary Shantz's application for the Parks Commission when she applied in 2021, just to kind of see how she put her qualifications and wrote out the application. We've seen on some of these newer applications where they're not really filled in, so I don't know, what expertise and to what degree of expertise that the appointments hold without them
Mr. Mayor,
those applications.
I have a point of order.
State your point of order.
This is not germane at all to the motion at hand. The motion at hand is to approve Brent Hemphill for the Parks Commission. It has nothing to do with Mary Shantz. It's not germane to the motion.
It actually is germane to the motion because her term is not expired. And let me explain if I can. Mary Shantz.
There's been a point of order called, sir.
I'm going to ask
a real thing.
I'm going to ask our legal counsel to give advice on the point of order.
The point of order is to move on to a germane topic. I think Mr. Mealy has the ability to explain why it is germane. And then the point maker can request a vote on the point of order. I believe that's correct.
Councilman Mealy, state your objection.
So the term for a Parks Commission is 3 years, and Ms. Shantz was recommended for appointment at the Monday, June 21st, 2021 City Council meeting, and her appointment was approved. She was then on August the 10th, 2021, installed as a new commission member to the Parks Board, serving a full term. So a full term by charter is 3 years, and 3 years, I guess, would be either on August 9th or August 10th of 2024. So my argument is I believe we need to bump this appointment back to the appropriate time when the individual serving's time is up, which would be in August.
My understanding is that position came open in May. I don't know what happened in 21, why the delay in the position.
I think the
position came
I think staff may have made a scrivener's error on that paperwork of May. Would I guess.
We have not been,
Please. Counselor, can you rule on that?
On what? Point of order? Or the, or
He's
so this just
alleging that the dates are off.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I don't have any of the information in front of me. So on its bald face, the charter says 3 years, that the terms are for 3 years. I'm not sure why anything would say May when it was August or vice versa. We'd have to take a look into it. My suggestion on the whole thing is that you could make the appointment of Mr. Hemphill and just subject it to the expiration of the previous term, and then staff can go look and take a look at it and see what the deal is, and we'll tell you what the correct date is. If the council desires to take action tonight, that would be my suggestion, or of course we can go back and take a look at it. Either way.
I have the information here.
I need to take a look at the bylaws, and it's more than a 5-minute question.
Councilman Hazelton.
my main concern is we have not all been provided this same supporting documentation that you're referring to, Mr. Mealy. It's important for us to all make an informed decision based on what you have, not just what's in front of you, but we all need copies of that if that's what you're learning.
Yeah, and I'm happy to pass it. Make a copy, I can run out and make copies or whatever would be easiest for folks. But again, I just found that this afternoon, was working and just came here and had a brief moment to tell Ryan, and the meeting started. So just wanted to make sure we follow the rules. Or I'm sorry, not speaking for we, I'm making sure I want to follow the rules.
All right, I'm going to rule as chair. We've got the advice from our legal counsel that council can proceed with an up or down vote. We'll clarify the dates. There's a motion on the table for Mr. Hemphill. Any other discussion on Mr. Hemphill's appointment?
Well, I would just like to make a comment thanking Mr. Hemphill for reaching out to all of the council members so that we have a better understanding of the appointment process and speaking with all of the parties involved to have a better understanding moving forward. And we are working to make some improvements on our side to improve communication with citizen volunteers. And so I think this process will be smoother moving forward.
Thanks.
So just,
Councilman Lester.
yeah, I just wanted to say during previous deliberations, I've advised against replacement of current Parks Commissioner. I still think it's best practice to retain a commission member who served on one term and served with dedication and distinction and has expressed a desire to continue. It further concerns me that this is the second time that the mayor has decided not to reappoint an excellent Parks Commissioner who has wanted to continue serving, and those persons have also been residents of the Second Ward, and with this appointment, there'll be only one person from Second Ward. But I do recognize that it's the mayor's prerogative to make these appointments, and that he disagrees with my assessment and will not reappoint Mary Chance. I think everybody knows members of the public have expressed some deep distrust of the intentions behind these appointments. I know you've seen those emails and letters to the editor. I think these concerns come from recognition that our Parks and Recreation and its staff, its facilities and programs are outstanding, and they help create a quality of life in Jefferson City that is important to preserve. Parks are important city asset for attracting and retaining young people and families with children. It's necessary for us to grow. So there's a recognition that having a Parks Commission composed of independent thinkers committed to continued excellence is important. A number of citizens, some of which I know personally, have reached out to me and reassured me that Mr. Hemphill's commitment and dedicated to the support of having an excellent parks, which is inclusive and has abundant recreational and park services. In addition, from my direct communication with Mr. Hemphill, that's reinforced my impression that that's correct. And this is to say that I've not changed my position in advice about reappointment being the right path, but I will vote to approve this appointment.
I would like to say something as well. I'm not going to.
Councilmember Young.
Yes, thank you. I'm not going to fully repeat what Councilman Lester has said and Councilwoman Job has said, but I'm totally in agreement with them. I want to thank Mr. Brent as well for contacting me. He helped me to understand and believe that he will be a good appointment as well. So I will be supporting that appointment tonight, but with the understanding that we do have some concerns. It is not with you as an individual, it was with the process itself. And so we have all come to understand that that process will be improved moving forward. And so with that being said, I'm confident with putting my vote on the line to support.
Councilman Mealy.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just make a final comment that I echo my colleagues in Mr. Hemphill's our belief that he will successfully serve. When he called me, I told him that was admirable. I think he was slightly shocked. He said, "Not everybody does that." I said, "No, we don't hear from appointments." So, you know, that's neat. That's the way you engage with your community. That's the way you meet people. My position is certainly not against Brent. I have a lot of concern with the process. I think what maybe our concern with the process is, and my colleagues and I share some of this, is we're in a new area. And what I mean by that is the mayor has the right to make his recommendation. He is utilizing his right. But what previous mayors didn't do was utilize that right to remove somebody after the first term. You know, John Lamware didn't do it, Eric Strumpf didn't do it, Kerry Turgeon didn't do it. So it is, I think our angst, our expectation was business would go, and that is a little bit different than the mayor's authority to recommend who he wants to recommend. Because of the process here and my concern with the vote to fill a seat that's occupied, I will abstain from the vote tonight.
Councilman Spencer.
Just for clarification, as far as the tally of the vote, what purpose would be for a member to abstain from this exercise here of the nomination?
The legality of the situation.
Is that considered a no vote, I assume?
It operates as a no vote. It's not considered a no vote, but that's how it operates.
As a tally.
Right. But it's marked out as an extension.
Councilwoman Joe.
And before we vote, I want to make certain that we are voting under the understanding that staff will be looking to see when Ms. Shant's term expires, and then the new appointment would take over at the expiration of her term, and we know that date is here.
I will ask Mr. Crane and Mr. Mullman to verify that date. Date that was pushed forward was May, so we will clarify if that is accurate.
And then will that be shared?
Yes.
Thank
All right, seeing no other comments, we'll do a roll call vote.
Lester,
Aye.
Michael, Mealy,
Abstain.
Schwartz,
Aye.
Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer,
Aye.
Young,
Aye.
Allers,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Job.
Aye.
The appointment is approved.
Right. Remember, we adjusted the agenda, so we're going back to item 14A, resolution 2024-4.
A resolution to authorize the city council to declare certain real estate as surplus and approving a method of disposition.
Mr. Mullen.
Thank you. This resolution declares properties on Capitol Avenue, various properties on Capitol Avenue neighborhood plus 611 Jefferson and 320 as surplus, and then authorizes a method of disposition for those properties. The method of disposition is RFPs. There are 3 RFPs attached to the resolution. The first RFP, Exhibit A, is for the 20 properties in the East Capitol Avenue redevelopment project area. The second RFP attached as Exhibit B is for 611 Jefferson, single building on Jefferson Street in the Woodbury area. The last RFP is for 320 Miller, which is just across the street from the City Hall campus. It's a vacant piece of land. There is an amendment, so this resolution was sent back to the Public Works and Planning Committee, who then referred it to the Historic Preservation Committee. The amended resolution contained in the packet includes the amendments adopted by the Public Works and Planning Committee, which includes amendments both recognizing recommendations from the Historic Preservation Commission, some recommendations, changes made by staff. In particular, there are some notations about 115 Jackson Street, which is going to become under the ownership of the City of Jefferson here shortly. Some technical clarifications and some clarifications on property lines and also the possibility of hazardous materials relating to the historic preservation's recommendations. The RFP includes a request that proposals demonstrate their compliance with the underlying zoning and also any overlay zoning, but then to also identify any changes if necessary. Also, the Public Works and Planning Committee adopted adopted an amendment to the section on review and evaluation of proposals. So the recommendation coming out of Public Works and Planning is that the HPC would have the opportunity to name 2 members to assist the City Council in the evaluation of the RFPs that is contained in the RFPs for the East Capitol area and also for 611 Jefferson. It's not contained for the Miller Street property because it is vacant land. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Questions from council? All right, we will need.
Is there someone from the audience that wants, Mr. Drew, was you raising your hand up to speak on?
I'm always happy to talk.
There's an opportunity now for people to speak.
What? Okay. He just came in after the.
We're gonna need action to get this on the table.
I would move to approve resolution.
I make a motion to second.
Just clarification from staff. Is this an action on the amended or the base?
On the recently amended.
Yes, on the amended.
Move that forward.
Councilman Hazelton.
Mr. First, myself second, yes.
All right, any other discussion on the item in front of you, which is the amended version? Roll call vote, please.
Michael.
Aye.
Neely. Schwartz. Spencer.
Aye.
Spicer.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Allers.
Aye.
Hazelton.
Aye.
Job.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
The amended resolution is adopted.
All right, takes us to resolution 2024-9.
A resolution authorizing the demolition of a dangerous building located at 113 Adams Street.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a resolution that would authorize staff to proceed with the demolition of 113 Adams Street. That property is part of the properties that were previously discussed as part of the RFP. It was initially included in one of the buildings that was included in the RFP for potential rehabilitation. Staff approximately 2 weeks ago entered that property to take pictures in anticipation of the RFP to show, to be able to show prospective bidders of the condition within that building. However, upon entry, staff determined that the situation within the house and the conditions within the structure had deteriorated quite considerably within the last time that it was entered by staff. Staff at that time made a decision that, and a determination that the property was not safe for entry, and that in staff's judgment, the property should be demolished to remove any potential for unsafe conditions and any threat to the community that might involve people illegally entering that property, which then might involve city staff and emergency personnel from also entering that property. They did experience considerable structural issues with the condition of the flooring, of the ceiling, and also of the walls, with space being able to be viewed from inside through the outside. So we understand the property, the intent initially was to potentially make this as part of the rehabilitation project along Capitol Ave. It had been declared dangerous as far back as 2016, and so unfortunately that property just deteriorated during that intervening time. So at this point, the resolution, if approved, would authorize staff then to proceed with demolition. We would anticipate having the building down within a week. Cleanup might take a little bit longer than that, but we do have an existing contract for that site. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Allers, then Councilman Spencer.
One question. Thank you, Mr. Smith. The wrought iron railing on the outside of that porch on 113, if someone's interested in that, they're not going to want to enter it, but if they have an interest in doing maybe something with that wrought iron, because it's pretty neat, the old style and all that, could they contact someone from the city to just take it off the front porch and down the steps and all that? Because they won't have to enter the building.
We could certainly have that discussion and determine, what type of manner we would use to dispose of any type of city property. But I think that was mentioned at Public Works and Planning as well, that there might be some architectural features on the outside of the building that might be something that could be salvageable, but we're going to have to assess that, I think, at the time of, if this resolution is approved, assess that at the time.
They were maybe looking at stuff they could do for flower beds and gardens and all that, which is a pretty neat idea with all that old wrought iron. I think it looks pretty neat if you can incorporate that in that way. And because they said they weren't interested in going inside, they just want to come up and saw it off. And if that's something that they can discuss with you and the administrator, Mr. Crane, and all that.
Absolutely, yeah. You can send it over.
Councilman Spencer.
It's not really a question, it's just a comment of appreciation to City Administrator Brian Crane and our public safety coordination with Planning and Protective Services as well about addressing this right away. It was, sometimes our citizens might not recognize the times and the circumstances that they can move rather efficiently, and this is one of those times, and I do appreciate that. getting this taken down to eliminate potential hazards for our public safety and the public. So I appreciate all the city departments working together in a coordinated fashion to get this done. So thank you very much.
I think it's also important to point out that he did have the authority to move forward on this, but felt like he would like to have council input, so I think Councilman Hazelton and Councilwoman Joe.
I would like it, however, to be realized that this building got to this point due to years of inaction and just letting it sit there and move along down the road. So let this be a cautionary tale for responsible property management and also acting in appropriate times. We cannot afford to lose any more historic buildings in this town. That's my stance.
Councilwoman Joe.
Yeah, at this point, I understand that the building has to come down, but I was curious to know if there's any documentation on how the hole in the roof occurred. Was that natural deterioration or was that something else?
I know there is a structural report, I think from the initial dangerous building declaration in 2016. If I recall right, I think the hole might have been in place already at that point in time. But if you're interested, we can provide that information.
Unfortunately, at the time, the city did not own the buildings, so I think city staff was moving as quickly as possible to get their hands on those buildings.
I wasn't alluding to our staff.
No, I know. I was referring to
15-year.
We couldn't tarp the roof there because it was not our building. No, I'm fully aware. I agree with you.
Okay, you know what?
A citizen had mentioned that maybe there was an outside influence that perhaps caused the hole in the roof that could have been something that wasn't natural, but it's at this point it is what it is. But I was curious if there's some documentation of that.
All right, seeing no other comments, we will need action to get this on the table.
Move to approve.
A motion, a second from Councilman Schwartz.
Spencer?
Motion from Spencer, second from Councilman Schwartz.
I didn't hear Mr. Councilman Schwartz, I'm sorry.
So you have 2024-9 in front of you. Anything else? Do roll call vote, please.
Mealy?
Aye.
Schwartz? Spencer?
Aye.
Weiser?
Aye.
Young? Aye. Allers?
Aye.
Hazelton?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Lester?
Aye.
Lightfoot?
Aye.
Resolution is adopted.
All right, then we've got one more item under 14, which is on the next page, 2024-10.
A resolution creating the Jefferson City Task Force on Homelessness.
Mr. Mullen.
Thank you. So everyone get a copy of the first page. Once again, apologies for that. So this resolution would create the Jefferson City Task Force on Homelessness. The duty of this task force would be to study and discuss the issue of homelessness in Jefferson City and make recommendations to the council and any other appropriate governing body or office holder. So this body is a little unique. It's a temporary body. Resolution sets forth an April 15th, 2025 deadline to make a written report to the city council. However, subject to a 1-year extension. The office holders on this task force is a mix of both office holders of other bodies, including President Pro Tem of the City Council, City Administrator, Chief of Police, City Prosecutor, the Executive Director of the Library, Cole County Sheriff, Cole County Prosecutor, Presiding Commissioner of the Cole County Commission, President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, and the President of the Downtown Association. This, in addition to those specific office holders, there is 5 members appointed by the mayor with advice and council who are representatives of nonprofit or faith-based organizations that have homelessness and the mitigation of homelessness issues as part of the mission and provide services to those persons. And in addition to those 5, the mayor, at his option, with advice and consent of the council, may additional 3 persons at large. Since they are residents of the city council, registered voters, we say. Once again, I apologize for the disjointed paperwork that is in front of you, but would be happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Allers.
I appreciate this, and then Mayor and Administrator Crane at the administration meeting for bringing this up, and I think we had a pretty good discussion. I think the gentleman was here that spoke, and I've been contacted by 2 members from the community at large that were interested, so I directed them to City Administrator Crane and maybe reached out to the mayor to do this, and so I look forward to whatever comes out of this and the recommendations that you bring before the council and getting this started.
I know Councilman Hazelton is sending in as well. All right. Councilman Neal.
Thank you. Just a quick question maybe for you, Brian. I have a lot of resolution summary pages. I've been here, but I've seen a lot of them. And this one was incomplete, and I was just wondering to fill in the blanks from my personal knowledge. Who is the responsible department on this?
City Administrator. So, I mean, the reality is that this is going to be pretty much a group effort. So I believe that there's some plans on engaging. So of course the chief of police is on the task force. I think there's also some plans on engaging Clint and his staff as well. But ultimately I think this is going to fall under the responsibility of the city administrator.
Okay.
A little all hands on deck type approach.
So would the same answer be for the person responsible as well? Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Need a motion to get this on the table.
Move to approve.
Councilman Allers.
I'll second that.
Young.
I was going to make a motion, but Councilman Spencer did, so I'm fine with that.
Just quick on the draw. Always have been.
Councilman Spencer, Councilwoman Young. Thank you. All right, we're going to do a roll call vote.
Schwartz,
Aye.
Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer, Young,
Aye.
Allers,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Job,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Michael, Neely.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted.
All right, we're going to go back up to item 8 on the agenda, which are presentations from staff, consultants, and invited guests. Mr. Marash, were you going to speak on this? I know Mr. Reisick is here as well.
I could, or I'm sure I could speak for them.
I would defer to city staff.
Very good move.
Since he's here. We just placed this on the agenda as our airport advisory committee discussed this at a recent meeting, and they just issued a letter of support to the council that they're interested in increased flood protection for the airport. Obviously, Corps of Engineers is going through a study. It's a complicated issue. It's multifaceted, and I think this just shows that they are in support of increased flood protection. But more to come on that. There will be a pretty I actually had a meeting with the Corps today. There will be a pretty big decision point coming in September that we'll hear a lot more about in the coming months.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yeah, thank you. I'm the liaison on this committee, so basically what you have is a committee full of either aircraft owners, pilots, people that have an interest in aviation. Mr. Isaac's our chair. I think the the notion is that there's a lot of concern from those folks and people who own aircraft of the inaction of the Corps of Engineers. Millions and millions of dollars sit over there every day, and we're another 95 or 93 away from some real damage and maybe the complete destruction of our airport. So it's just a letter presented from the committee to the Corps demanding or asking and somewhat demanding a rectification of the levy in question. Just a little FYI.
Councilman Lester.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm fully supportive of protecting the airport. I understand it's a setback levy would also protect the airport and as well Hitachi, but I'm not sure of the expense. It may be a lot more expensive, but this is certainly a very important issue for Jefferson City and our assets across the river, which are important to.
I see a huge benefit to investing more time and attention into this. Chesterfield, Missouri had long ago this large levee along the Missouri River, and it has turned into a booming. It didn't just protect, city parks and small assets that were in a floodplain. It made an opportunity for a large business boom to occur where otherwise it was unusable land. This is an opportunity if we really look at it. So we really need to take advantage of our flat plain out there and make it something that can generate attention and tourism and another reason to come to Jefferson City.
Councilman Miller.
Thank you. Mr. Rash, do you know if the city, I've been attending the meetings with the Corps and DNR, understand the different options out there, what the Corps is indicating may not work from a federal spending level, et cetera. Is the city prepared or intending to write a letter of preference from the city?
I think there's a lot more work to be done there. Actually, we have a meeting later this week with the mayor and administrator to talk more about it. And like I said, I got some good information today that I can relay to them, and there'll be much more discussion about it. It's a very big project, what they're looking at. It's north of $100 million right now, and so what their initial one of their initial options they're fleshing out. So that's a very large project. It wouldn't be the type of levy that's in Chesterfield. It'd be somewhat different. So you'd still have floodplain regulations being enforced behind it. But that's kind of their current option the Corps is looking at. Now there's other ideas out there, that's for sure. And so we just have to flesh those out and go from there. So this should probably end up being a work session topic or something like that eventually. Work with Mr. Crane on that and figure that out.
Councilman Hazelton.
So if we looked at the possibility of expanding it beyond the purview of the airport, though, I mean, there's a lot of usable land over there. And will it also include the Missouri National Guard's depot over there as well?
It does include the National Guard. The footprint right now is the Corps' purview of where it can fit and the type of levy it is, that kind of thing.
All right. Move on to item 9A, announcements by mayor, council, and staff. Administration committee. Councilman Allen. Admin committee.
August 7th, 7:30 a.m. Scheduled next one. It was originally for July 3rd, but that's the day before the July 4th holiday, and with the city council adjourning for that July 1st meeting, August 7th comes up.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilman Schwartz, Finance.
We will be canceling our next meeting due to a lack of agenda items, and so we'll see you in August. July, whatever month I'm in.
Public Safety, Councilman Michael, anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, it'll be next Thursday, the 27th, at the Jefferson City Training Room. Jefferson City.
Public Works and Planning, Councilman Spencer.
We already had our June monthly meeting, so our next meeting will be July 11th at 7:30 here in the council chambers.
Councilman Hazelton, you want to make a comment on planning and zoning meeting the other night? I don't know, maybe Councilman Luster was going to tag in.
We had our planning and zoning meeting this last Thursday, and we did something that we didn't have the opportunity to do for quite a while because applications kept on coming in. We went back to some of our codes and ordinances and had a look at them, 12 in all, and we looked over some of the things that didn't quite make sense anymore, and we're looking at relaxing some of them. Things from lot widths to accessory buildings, things of that sort. We had a number of folks there, myself, Eric Barron was there. He did the bulk of the presentation. I wish he was here to talk more. He went through everything. We were there till 9 o'clock. Clint Smith was over there as well. He probably remembers more in detail a lot of stuff we talked about, but we're doing what we talked about and making our codes more user-friendly for Jefferson City and their residents to come in and expand their buildings, do what they want to do with their property, and not feel so straitjacketed with what they want to do. Our next planning and zoning meeting is coming up on the 11th of July, and I don't know if there's any agenda items on it yet. If there aren't, I believe that we will be canceling it or another work session?
My understanding, we were going to have another work session where staff would bring back to us a summary of what we had mainly talked about and decided to go forward with, to bring to my understanding.
I talked to one of the members of the committee, and they were very excited about some of the, or actually I talked to two members. They were very excited about some of the discussions. So thanks. Councilman Schwartz, you had a comment?
Yeah, and this may go beyond the scope a little bit, but I texted the mayor last night about some work that MoDOT is going to be doing over the next couple months on our bridge, or near our bridge. Included in those 2 months are the 4th of July and Labor Day, which are two of the busiest times of year at Lake of the Ozarks, and with really a sole means of access to the lake for a lot of residents of Iowa, Nebraska, etc. And I don't want this doesn't need to be a long conversation, but I would like maybe on email to get the opinions of my colleagues about what we can do to motivate MoDOT to either move the work to the night, hold the work off until after September or something. I feel that it could be a real disaster for this community for our July 4th celebration downtown. And I think it could be, I think you're looking at traffic backed up on those 2 holiday weekends for miles and miles, which does us no favor in this town. So just something to put out there if people have ideas or are interested in working with me to come up with a statement to MoDOT, or if Mr. Marash wants to just tell them to get out of the way, that would be fine too. I just wanted to put that up there.
All right, thank you. I know MoDOT has made a number of presentations. They seem pretty solid on that time frame, but we'll take that under advice and see.
Yeah, we met with them just last week, and I know public safety folks did as well. They had a meeting finally with us to kind of lay out the traffic control plan and try to at least educate us on it. So it's kind of our first seeing of it as well last week from my office anyway. And we're going to try to recommend some improvements from our office here, but, it doesn't mean they have to take those under consideration. There's also some railroad permitting issues they're dealing with. That's why the vague timeframe on the start date. So there's a lot of things going on there as well.
All right, I just had a few things I was going to bring up to date real quick and belabor them, but we had an opportunity to participate in a ribbon cutting for Moore's Packaging, their 10-year anniversary. A great company in this community that's fun to watch an organization like that grow. I think Missy Bono said they initially projected 19 employees and they're around the 200 mark now, so just a great opportunity. We celebrate all the way from our new 1 and 2 person operations to our big players, but it was fun to participate in that. Saturday, Councilwoman Young, Dr. Young.
Yes, Dr. Young.
Councilman Hazelton, Councilman Allers, and there may have been others. Those are the ones that I saw at the time I was there. We had a privilege of participating in the Juneteenth event at Community Park. Talked to the folks at Pizza Quick today. They served 350 lemonades, so it was a nice crowd on Saturday. And I know City Hall is closed on the 19th in observation of that holiday. So thanks for those that were there. I had a privilege of making a couple of comments, and it was a great celebration. We got around to some really cool people. Chamber Coffee last Friday, Ms. Bryant did a great job of talking about some of the things that the city is up to. She also spoke at the Downtown Association. A few of us were there and kind of plugged in the gaps, but she didn't leave many gaps. And, I think it's good for us to continue to get around and for our community to see the visibility of our council. So for those that could attend, thank you very much. But again, nice job on those 2 events and getting the word out about the city. With that, we'll go to item 10, consent agenda. You have that before you.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, takes us to item 11A, bills introduced. Remember, there's a check mark 2024-014.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a $2,062,129 agreement with Platten Creek Excavating LLC, doing business as PCX Construction, for the Westview Subdivision Sanitary Sewer Improvements Phase 1 project.
Mr. Moraes.
Thank you. As clerk indicated, construction contract with Platinum Creek Excavating. They're out of Arnold, Missouri, so we have not done a project with these folks, but they do have some associations with contractors in the area. So we did feel a little more comfortable about that. The project's kind of working with Cole County to improve infrastructure in Westview, and so this will help us save a little money on street repair by doing it this way. If you have to answer any questions.
All right, seeing no questions, Councilman Spencer.
I move to suspend the rules to be voted on this bill tonight.
No opposition. We'll go ahead and read the bill again then.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a $2,062,129 agreement with Platten Creek Excavating LLC, doing business as PCX Construction, for the Westview Subdivision Sanitary Sewer Improvements Phase 1 project.
All right, seeing no other questions or comments, we'll do a roll call vote.
Spencer.
Aye.
Spicer. Young.
Aye.
Allers.
Aye.
Hazelton.
Aye.
Job.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Michael.
Aye.
Neely.
Aye.
Schwartz. Bill passes.
All right, 2024-015, again, a check mark to the left.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the 2023-2024 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by appropriating additional funds within the wastewater enterprise fund.
Councilman Hazelton.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we suspend the rules on Bill 2024-015.
Seeing no comments or objections, we'll go ahead and read the bill again.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the 2023-2024 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by appropriating additional funds within the wastewater enterprise fund.
All right, do a roll call vote, please.
Spicer, Young, Allers,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Michael,
Aye.
Neely,
Aye.
Schwartz, Spencer.
Aye.
Bill passes.
All right, we've already done the items on 12. We have nothing on the informal calendar. We've done all 3 of the items in 14. Let's see to item 15, approval of the closed session minutes.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Seeing no comments, we'll do a roll call vote.
Young,
Aye.
Allers,
Aye.
Hazelton, Joe,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Michael, Neely,
Aye.
Schwartz, Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer. Motion approved.
I'm not aware of any new business. Councilman Hazelton requested unfinished business updates. So Councilman, I recognize you.
Mr. Administrator, I'd like to get an update on how our MSP project is with the venue/farmers market.
Yeah, we had notification from the Office of Administration that they're comfortable with that project and moving forward. They saw through the conceptual designs, so we got approval from that, which is important for re-entry in the property. So if we do that project, it will satisfy that requirement of the contract that we had with the state, so that's good news. And we also got word that the budget amendment that we requested from Department of Economic Development was also reviewed and approved, so they're fine with us moving that roughly $2.1 million towards the River Market project. So now that means that we're working right now. In fact, I just emailed today to say go ahead and proceed with an RFQ for engineering services to do the preliminary design. So over the next few months, you'll start seeing us working planning and design phase of that project. And what we have to do is get that project started with construction phase before July of next year. So everything's kind of falling into place.
All right, very good. And about when will the opportunity for public review, comment, input be allotted?
That'll be during the planning phase with the engineers that we would hire as they work through that process.
Okay, I just wanted to make the assurance to the folks at home that they are not being left out of the process, that's all.
Yeah, we did a preliminary budget and conceptual plan that we needed to show Department of Economic Development and the council what we could do with roughly $2.1 million. So I think you're going to see a lot of activity with Parks and Rec over the next few months, and the engineers to really kind of plan what that riverfront might look like in the future and how those pieces can be put in that project.
All right, this is going to be great. Thank you.
All right, that takes us to item 18, adjournment and going into closed session. So I'm going to ask Ms. Donaldson to read the statement.
The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the public session and pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri, go into closed session to discuss the following: personnel records, section 610.021, subsection 13. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move that this meeting be adjourned.
And we go into closed session.
And then we go into
Seconded by Councilman Allers. We'll do a roll call vote on that.
Allers? Hazelton?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Lester?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Neely? Schwartz? Spencer?
Aye.
Spicer? Young?
Aye.
Motion approved.
So we'll go across and we'll start as soon as we can get everybody over there.